You're organizing all wrong and it's making your life harder. Here's why. We all have that one spot in our house where clutter just magically accumulates. It's the kitchen counter, the entryway table, or if you're like me, the bedroom chair. I have fought the chair all of my life. You know, the one where the clothes that are too clean to wash but too dirty to put away end up? I thought that maybe if I just removed the chair, it would force me to start dealing with these clothes and actually put them away. But instead, all of the clothes just gathered in the corner on the floor, and it was even worse. So I had to just embrace the chair. But when it comes to organizing your home, especially if you plan to sell, simply embracing the clutter isn't going to cut it. Decluttering is just the first step. There are thousands of videos to walk you through it. Some of them are even mine, and I can link to them if you need a refresher. But the real challenge, keeping your home organized so clutter doesn't creep back in. It's a never-ending job. And as a realtor, I see this all the time. People clear out their spaces to get their homes ready to sell, only to realize that they have no idea how to live in and maintain a clutter-free environment. Here's the thing, you can't fight clutter. Don't even try. You have to manage it. And today I'll show you how to set up your home in a way that works with your natural tendencies, not against them. Because forcing yourself to be someone you're not, spoiler alert, it never ever works. Most people organize based on how they wish their homes would function, not how they actually do function. That's why most organizing fails. You create these Pinterest perfect storage systems with matching bins, labeled baskets, intricate organizing solutions that look amazing, but they don't match your daily habits. You think, I just have to be more disciplined about putting my things away. Spoiler, you won't. No one does. And cute storage bins aren't magically going to change that. Then the frustration sets in because, surprise, the clutter comes back and the cycle just repeats itself. The solution is drop zones. Instead of fighting the way you live, build systems that work with your natural habits. That's where these drop zones come in. A drop zone is a designated area that will catch your daily clutter before it spreads. The key is to identify hotspots where clutter naturally piles up, just like my bedroom chair, and design a system around them. This isn't a quick fix. You can't force a household to change overnight. Instead, take some time to pay attention to where the clutter gathers and build a system to deal with it. Here's an easy one, the entryway drop zone. If your family always dumps their shoes and coats by the door, stop fighting it. Work with it. Add a bench, hooks, maybe a boot tray or basket. Now the mess has a home. Do not do what my husband does and relocate the shoes to where you think they should be. It's frustrating for everyone. My husband Dean, because he feels like he's constantly cleaning up after everyone. And the rest of us, because we can't find our shoes at 7 o'clock in the morning. Mornings are already hard enough. Stop making them worse, Dean. We have a system. Or maybe you need a kitchen drop zone. If your counters are drowning in papers, create a command center with a tray or maybe some wall organizers. Don't just toss the papers in a drawer to be forgotten, or worse, slap them on the fridge with magnets. That is just visual clutter pretending to be organization. Any parent will tell you that school papers are relentless. Permission slips, forms, newsletters. A decorative tray or basket will save your sanity here. You'll always know where to find that paper when you need it. And it will usually be just before you start looking for those missing shoes. And what about the bedroom drop zone? If you, like me, have the dreaded chair, the one buried under the not clean enough to hang back up, but not dirty enough for the laundry clothes, just embrace it. You already have a drop zone. If you want to zhuzh it up a bit, you can always add a stylish basket for those in-between items. Instead of pretending you'll change your ways, you won't. I've had sellers call me in a panic because they had a last-minute showing request that they wanted to decline because they just didn't have time to tidy up the clutter in their homes before the showing. You can't sell a house if no one sees it. Or if you're not selling, what about those last-minute drop-ins? How quickly can you be guest ready? That's why it's important to have a system in place that can quickly and efficiently manage the clutter for you. Living in a staged home is hard because everyday clutter suddenly has nowhere to go. Sellers clear and declutter for showings only to find that their homes are completely unlivable. Drop zones are a game changer here because they help you maintain that show-ready look without making life miserable and overcomplicating things. And even if you're not selling, keeping your home staged for yourself makes it a much nicer place to live. And now that you know how to build it, let's talk about how to maintain your drop zones. And here's the important part. Drop zones aren't just dumping grounds. They're temporary holding areas. And I do mean temporary. The trick is in clearing them out regularly. If you don't, they'll just overflow and suddenly your drop zone is the clutter. So here's your 3-step system to keeping things under control. First is the daily reset. Take 2 minutes at the end of the day to clear out your drop zones. That's all. 2 quick minutes. It's way easier than waiting till everything piles up and feels completely unmanageable. The second one is the one-touch rule. If you can put something away in under 30 seconds, do it immediately instead of waiting. Don't let it sit. Number 3, declutter as you go. Just because something lands in a drop zone doesn't mean it should stay there. Make it a habit to reassess what actually belongs in your home and in these zones. I've seen buyers walk away from great homes because an entryway was so cluttered it made the entire home feel smaller. When it comes to real estate, buyers aren't just looking at the house, they're looking at how the house feels. And clutter makes a home feel smaller, messier, and more overwhelming. The more stuff they see, the less they can picture themselves living there. Drop zones solve this problem because they keep things tidy without requiring constant effort. The key to lasting organization is working with your habits, not against them. You want to organize for the long term. If you always drop your keys on the console table, put a bowl there to catch them. If mail piles up in the kitchen, set up a bin for incoming paperwork. If shoes end up scattered, add a stylish basket or rack to your entryway. I spent years trying to get my family to use the back door to drop their winter gear in our mudroom sun porch. It never worked. Our house didn't function that way, regardless of how hard I tried. And I tried. My kids would come in through the front door after school, dump their boots and coats and backpacks right at the door, and that was that. Rather than continue to fight it, I finally gave in and added hooks, a small bench, and a boot tray to our tiny front entry. Is it as neat as I'd like? No, of course not. But it works, and that's the point of the drop zone. And here's the real takeaway. If you remember anything, remember this. Your drop zone will accumulate clutter, and that's a good thing. That means that your drop zone is doing its job. Think of them as a pressure release valve. The mess stays contained in one area, making it easier to clear away when you're ready. And decluttering isn't just for people who are selling their homes. It's about actually enjoying the home while you live in it. Don't wait until it's time when you're thinking of selling your house to start enjoying it. If your home doesn't feel good to you now, what small change can you make today to fix that? And if you need help figuring out what to do with all that extra stuff, I've got you covered. Now that you know how to keep your home organized after decluttering, you might realize that you need to go back and revisit the decluttering process. Or maybe you're not even sure where to start. Either way, I've got you covered. Watch decluttering strategies that actually work, and I'll walk you through the best ways to clear the clutter and create a home that works for you. See you over there.